Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true.
St. Andrew businessman named person of interest. St. Andrew businessman Sion Ricketts has been named a person of interest by the St. Andrew Central Police. Detectives believe Ricketts, who operated a business on Westminster Road, collected money from several customers before fleeing. Attempts to contact him have proven futile. Ricketts is being urged to turn himself into the Halfway Tree Police by midday on August 17. Anyone with information that can assist the police in locating Ricketts is asked to contact the Halfway Tree Criminal Investigations Branch at 876-926-2551, the Police 119 number, or the nearest police station. Grace Kennedy not impacted by Caperson recall. Grace Kennedy is reporting that its operation have not been impacted by the recall of the Caperson Wild Cherry Flavor Juice Blend. Craft tenders in the United States said the recall of the 5,760 cases was prompted after some cleaning solution accidentally mixed with the juice on a production line. The best when used by date on the packages is June 25, 2023. Caperson is distributed in Jamaica by Grace Kennedy GK Foods through its World Brands Services WBS division, and in the Caribbean through its subsidiary Grace Food Latin America and the Caribbean LACA. The company says the recall is happening in the US only, and there is no risk of a serious health issue. Caperson products distributed through WBS and Grace Foods LACA are manufactured in Jamaica by GK Foods and not impacted by the US recall in any way, it noted. Persons who may have concerns can contact the relevant customer service line, which can be found on the back of their Caperson products. Police being made scapegoats for all Jamaica's ills, says James. Chairman of the Police Federation, Corporal Will James, believes that police officers are being made to be scapegoats for everything wrong in society. His comment came in response to the finding of the RJR Gleaner done on a poll on the confidence of Jamaicans in the island security forces. More than 90% of Jamaicans say they have little or no confidence in the Jamaica Constabulary Force, even as the island continues to grapple with a high murder rate. Jamaicans say they have more confidence in the army. Corporal James questioned the socio-economic background of the respondents to the poll, while adding that there is a general dislike for the police among Jamaicans. He argued that what is being perceived about the JCF is worse than the reality, as inroads have been made in changing police behavior towards citizens and weeding out corrupt members. Speaking on Tuesday with reporters, Corporal James also blames the views of Jamaicans on the political directorate, which he believes is not pumping sufficient resources into national security. He contended that the crime situation is reflective of social degradation issues in the country and is not necessarily a policing issue. But the police, he said, are blamed for everything, especially for those who fail to do what they have to do in order for the police to be able to do what is necessary to protect the citizens of the country. Consequently, Corporal James urged the 63 members of Parliament to take full responsibility for the views expressed by the people. To lessen the negative view of the people, Corporal James suggested that Police High Command give Jamaicans more insight into the accountability mechanism which have been implemented within the JCF. He said better dissemination of information would allow the public and even the diaspora to be aware of the programs put in place to improve the force. He admitted that if the police were to get a failing grade, it should be in relation to this, since accountability matters. PNP leader says residents affected by rare cobra fish killed must be compensated. Leader of the People's National Party, Mark Golden, says the drawdown of the performance ban linked to the influent runoff in the rare cobra by Windalco must be used to compensate residents in the area. The opposition leader says they must be given priority over any government agency.
The farmers in St. Catherine who rely on the irrigation water had to do without. I don't know what that has meant for their crops, whether that has impacted them negatively, but it must have. And of course, those people who live along the banks of the river, those communities that rely on the river for sustenance, for fish and other means, were very badly impacted. I'm saying to the government now, the compensation that is available under the performance ban must go to the people who have suffered. They must be the priority, not any government agencies. But more than that, the government must ensure that this does not happen again. We cannot have our water resources being contaminated on a regular basis, critical water resources by toxic waste. The company must make the investment to fix the situation so it does not happen again, and they should not be allowed to continue to operate unless they are committing to do that, and the work has started, and we can see that it is properly monitored and being done. Our water resources must be protected. Comrades, this is not a simple matter. This is something we need to take very seriously. And I believe that the housing of NEPA, which is the Environmental Regulatory Agency that is there to protect against this sort of thing, within the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, which has a mandate to try and push growth and cut corners if necessary to get growth moving forward. We cannot have an environmental agency that is affected by this kind of conflict of interest. It must have independence, it must be able to do its job, and must protect the Jamaican people from those who would like to destroy the environment for their own profit.
5 Jamaicans arrested in the Bahamas for allegedly cultivating ganja. 5 Jamaicans have been arrested in the Bahamas in connection with the alleged cultivation of more than 4 acres of marijuana fields in North Andros. The discovery was made following surveillance operations by the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Chief Superintendent Roberta Goodman, officer in charge of the Drug Enforcement Unit of the RBPF, reported that the unit received information sometime last week about a suspected marijuana field being cultivated by several people in the area. He said as a result of this information, a joint operation was put into place. 2 days ago, the Drug Enforcement Office came into the area where they conducted surveillance, and while they were receiving some additional information which resulted in 5 Jamaican males being arrested for cultivating these fields, Goodman stated. He disclosed the suspects are between 40 and 57 years old. Superintendent Goodman stated that the value of the fields of marijuana is not yet clear, as the plants will have to be uprooted and counted before the information can be given. He also told reporters at the scene that investigations are ongoing to see if the arrested men are working alone. We are still early in the investigation, and as it goes on, we'll be able to determine if they are connected with any locals here in the Bahamas, the superintendent stated. A people without knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots, Prime Minister Andrew Holness quoted Marcus Garvey.
There is a sense in Jamaica, and I've been just observing conversations, that if you spend resources on improving infrastructure, such as a monument, building a new monument, because that is a particular kind of infrastructure, improving civic building, building a new parliament, for example, there is a sense that it's a waste of money. We shouldn't do that. There are other things that $3 million could be used to do. And I am certain that all of you here and those listening on social media would agree that there are 3 million other things that $3 million could be used to do. What is the value of putting up a monument, an historically significant monument, or what is the value of improving the infrastructure for civic administration or for our heritage? What's the value of that? Particularly if you juxtapose that against important things like, that could send, 300 kids back to school, maybe. Or it could fix a lot of potholes along the road. And we wrestle with this in our country because there is a lack of understanding in the public discourse about what the symbols of our civil bureaucracy, and that speaks to how we see our nation, how we see our government, and how we view our history, how important it is. And in fact, I take the view that there is a kind of disconnection between the people and these very important institutions. And a disconnection which leads to a devaluation of them. The irony, of course, is that the more we devalue our history, we devalue our monuments, we devalue our civil bureaucracy and our administration, it is the less likely they will perform to the standards that you want them.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share,